Dear Father, Mother God, we thank you for allowing us to be channels of light, love, and healing. We ask that all energy that flows through Tylor and myself be grounded in Mother Earth, for she, in fact, is the living healer. We call on our guides and our angels to speak through us now. Thank you, Father, Mother God, all that is.
All that is.
All that is. Hi, Tylor.
Good morning.
It's an agate day. Okay?
Yeah.
There's so many different beautiful agates that yeah, so we just wanted to share some of that with you, and they're quite amazing, especially that one.
So an agate is basically layers of chalcedony that stack on top of each other. So when people look at chalcedony, that's also in the agate family or vice versa. And so I really like agate, and it's really interesting. So every time you see an agate and you see one of these layers, every line means that this is growing 50 million years. So if you count the lines of an agate, you can actually find out how old it is if you count each line as 50 million years. And so, I
Wow.
mean, think about how long it took to grow this, and so, and even most amethysts actually grow out of agate. So the agate stops growing and then it starts pushing amethyst out, which is what you can see down here on the bottom of these two wings. Is on the bottom there's actually little amethyst crystals growing out of the agate. And it's just it's amazing to me, how crystals will start growing out of these agate formations. And we have a huge variety of agate, and agate can
Huge.
come in so many different forms. It's crazy. I think there's a couple thousand different varieties of agate. And so one of them is an Indian head. But so we have like the blue agate, which is we most commonly see, or blue lace agate. And from the blue lace agate, we have either clear quartz or amethyst that'll grow out of it most of the time, which is what you're seeing right here, even right here. And so you also have the grape agate. And this I have a special attraction towards because it's so unique. It looks like little grape
It
pockets.
does.
And those come from Indonesia in these caves, and it's caused by the ocean. And so it's just a really unique formation. I mean, and then a lot of the times, like, these are so beautiful. I mean, we got a few of these in, and they sold immediately as soon as we put them out. And this is an angel aura agate, and it is just
Yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah.
And I would say that a lot of the popular agates that we have right now are like the moss agate is really popular.
That's this.
And then we have jewelry, we have the stone, we also, and they make
This
agates
is
out of so
moss
many different
agate.
things.
Yes, it's
Yes, it
gorgeous,
is.
isn't it?
And then this one right here is dendritic agate, which is, I love this because it looks like little tiny pictures whenever you see it. It reminds me of like a Japanese painting. And so this is actually a fern that's growing inside of the stone, and then it becomes part of the stone over time. And I love that.
Wow.
We also have, different carvings made with agate. So these are like two little agate slices. I know we
Yeah.
have
Now
wind
this is
chimes.
dyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they color the agate in order to make it look like that. And we get and those are popular. It's kind of interesting just because of the coloring. And agate's really good for so many different things. I know that the high priest of the Hebrews would always put it in the chest piece to help with sickness, to relieve sickness. It's good for anxiety, worry, and a lot of people will carry it, especially in like the metaphysical world, to help with sickness, to help with worry or anxiety. And it's also recommended for anybody that worries too much or is over worrying, to carry it because it'll calm that nervous system. And so it calms the nervous system and boosts the immune system altogether. But depending on the color and variety, you get more benefits because you have so much more going on with it.
We need to tell Elizabeth about it. We were just talking about she has someone staying with her that's has a lot of fear.
So that would be a perfect stone.
Look at this. I mean, that they carved it with, you know, they just did a great job
I love those. I know
carving.
Eli loves those too,
Yeah.
especially when you see like the crack going down. Like it looks so cool.
Yeah.
And then we have the big one right here. And the big one, they did a perfect job where like it's just crystals going right in the middle of the skull.
And this, unbeknownst when I bought it, I fell in love with it. I had no idea what it was.
Yep.
And
it's flower agate.
Flower agate.
But it also has drusies all over it. So you'll
Right.
see this shine. So it's actually growing crystals at this point.
It still is growing crystals. And that's what druzy is. It's crystals that are still growing.
Yep. And so if I flip this over too, so this is all agate on the back. And if you were to polish this rough part off, it would look like this on the inside, and it would look like little flowers bursting out everywhere.
Hmm.
And and this is just a small selection of what we have. We have every agate possible, I think.
Every agate possible. I know. I didn't even know what these bracelets were.
So we have blue lace agate. We have flower agate.
This one's flower agate?
Yep. The pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's fire agate. And now fire agate's a hard stone to find. Whether it's a stone or jewelry, it's getting harder and harder to find. I know that most people that go and collect fire agate, you have to collect it from the surface. There's no mining involved with it most of the time.
Hmm. So, and what's this one?
That's moss agate.
Yeah, this is moss agate.
And that has become very popular in recent years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people asking for moss agate, buying moss agate on a regular basis.
So is there actual moss in it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So that's why they call it moss agate. Well, it's a plant. It is a living plant that was growing inside of there. And sometimes you'll get different colors. I've seen red moss agates. Green moss agate is your most common. But yes, it is actually plants that were growing inside of there. So it's living organisms that started to grow, which would be considered a moss or a fungus. And then it became part of the agate because the agate just kind of enclosed over it. And then eventually the plant becomes a stone.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. And like Tylor said, we have some amazing pieces here. I mean, this is just a fraction of what we have. And because it's so beautiful, people are just so attracted to it.
Yeah.
It's just really nice. So, okay, well, thank you.
Thank
you.
And
if you're having some fear,
yeah,
you might want to get a little piece of agate.